I'm Rodney Jackson. This is Tamicia Jackson, my wife. And we just want to notify the world of our story and what's going on with the kidnapping of our daughter, Mila Jackson.
Let me start by saying I chose to deliver my baby with Dr. Cheryl via a home birth. As I wanted to be able to tell my birth story and have my birth story the way that I wanted it to be. I wanted to be at home and in comfort with my husband. And so I was able to do that on March 21st. I delivered my baby girl, Mila Jackson, at 5:28 in the morning at home with my husband and my midwife. It was a beautiful birth. She was perfect, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. 3 days later, we decided to take her to a pediatrician just for a newborn checkup. Within that visit, we were told everything is good. She looks great. The only thing is she have jaundice. Jaundice is a very common thing. Many of our family friends and families' children have had jaundice. So we left that visit thinking everything was fine. A couple of hours later, the pediatrician called my phone and wanted us to direct admit Mila into the hospital. We told him that we would get with our midwife, as she's our care provider, and figure out exactly what we wanted to do. Shortly after that, he texted my phone and gave me 3 options for taking care of Mila. We told him thank you and let him know that we would start those care options. Later that night, around 11:30, he texted my phone and said that we are going against what he feel like we should do for our child, and if we do not admit her into the hospital immediately for jaundice, that he was going to call CPS. At 4 a.m., we're asleep. I'm asleep with the baby. My husband is asleep. Police officers are banging at our door with CPS. We let them know they have no jurisdiction and they needed to leave, which they did in that moment. An hour later, they came back with more officers, more CPS workers, a fire truck, and an ambulance, demanding that we hand over Mila, saying that she is now in the care of CPS. We again told them to leave, which eventually they did. The very next day, our midwife reached out to the pediatrician, just letting him know that pretty much he has traumatized us. We were traumatized. We were woken up by police banging at our door at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. And so after she gave him all the credentials that he was requesting from her, he pretty much said he was going to leave our care in our midwife's hands. And so we lived life. We went to soccer. We did everything that you do on a Saturday and a Sunday. And then that Tuesday, my husband was walking our dog, and Constable is banging at the door. I'm inside with Mila. I call my husband, and I let him know there's police outside. He immediately turns around and comes back to the house. He's met by 6 constables pretty much demanding that he let them into our home, and they had a writ. And so my husband said he will not be allowing them to go into the home, but if they have a writ, they can do whatever it is that they need to do. He made sure not to block our front door or anything like that. The constables chose to arrest my husband so that they could take his key and use his key to unlawfully enter my home and come and take my baby from me.
From that point, since then, the way we appear now, we've been foot on the ground, reaching out to anyone.
But I need to say,
I'm sorry.
When they came in and took her from me, I requested that I needed to see the paperwork. And so they insisted, no, give her first. And so they took her from my arms and they gave me paperwork. When they left, I looked at the paperwork, and the paperwork had another mother's name on it. It was DCCPS versus another mother, which I won't say her name, but it was not my name. And so instantly I felt like they had stolen my baby, as I had had a home birth, and they are trying to say that my baby belonged to this other woman. There was no contact information for me. I did not know where to turn. They had taken my husband from me and then took my daughter from me, and I was left by myself. And so I immediately went to the police station and said that my daughter was stolen and I needed help. The officer found a CPS caseworker's name and number and gave that to me. And from that moment, I was yelling that this is not me. This person who's on this affidavit is not me. Y'all took the wrong baby. Y'all should not have taken my baby. And from there, we have been fighting every day.
We went to state representative office, calling who we can call, trying to get in touch with press, just trying to make as much noise as possible to get our daughter back. We have been ignored by CPS. We've been up there almost every day trying to drop off breast milk, and just no help on their end at all. We've been treated like criminals, and that's far from the truth. I'm a very big member in the community. I coach kids. This is a nightmare that I wouldn't wish on anyone.